Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3 Points of Articulation podcast, the Spoiler Room Brawl. I'm your host, Jamie Wills, as per usual, joined by someone who's not. This isn't really your event, Dan. This is SummerSlam '92. It's a bit too far afield for this.
What do you mean? Like the next country over, and I
Yeah,
watched it,
I
loved it
don't want
as
to
a child.
phone. I don't want to phone Tommy Robinson, mate, and say what's going on here. But
Tommy Robinson, Irish passport holder,
oh,
fun.
that didn't make sense, didn't it? The daft
Yeah, of course it
racist.
does. And travels on it as well. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, it's an event I did love as a kid. So
Yeah, well, we've also got a specialist on today. We got Pablo, who loves SummerSlam and loves the year 1992, I imagine.
And I'm also very, very special.
There you go. So that's good. Special slam.
Uh, that's me.
Don't do the voice.
I'm a carer. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. That's all right
yeah,
then.
it's all right if we do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How are things with you?
all right. Yeah, I've got a Jack Tunney through the post today, so
Oh, that's good.
things are looking up. He's got a lovely
Yeah.
tie.
Has he got lovely blue
Um,
lips?
I think he's painted better than. I know this isn't a Dolly podcast.
Hey, it's fine, mate. It's all real friends here.
Yeah, and I have a epic delivery coming tomorrow.
Everyone's a winner. What'd you get?
I got Flair and Barflarian.
Oh, is that a Pokemon?
If you were going to eat one Pokemon, which would it be?
Ditto would be easy to go down.
The pigeon, I think.
Oh, if you was to have intercourse with one Pokemon, what would it be?
Probably the pigeon. Then I'd eat it. That's what we did. That's what we do in Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Vaporeon. That's the eyes. We also welcome Rampage Book with us. Not his real name,
Not my
right?
real name, but
But,
yeah, no, I do like it when you keep kayfabe going and just refer to me by my
we're about to break it, mate, because your
by my
name's
work name, not
your
my
name
sheet name.
your,
Yeah,
name- your name's Lee,
yes,
and we're
it's
referring to you as Lee throughout this just to avoid any confusion.
absolutely fine. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. I do listen every week, so yeah, excited to be on.
Oh, lovely stuff.
Hmm.
Head over to bigsales.co.uk. You can purchase some of your t-shirts, including our latest drop, which is a Street Fighter inspired one. Some say that maybe you shouldn't mention Street Fighter in the post because of copyright, but Big Sal's gone for it anyway, and she's just written Street Fighter everywhere. So if we get sued, that's not my fault, mate. And if you're watching on YouTube, just do all the normal YouTube stuff. I'm not a 12-year-old. I won't tell you what to do. Uh, Pablo. SummerSlam 1992. What sort of facts have you got to kick us off into this event? Put you on
well,
the
it
spot.
was. There were two venues. I've done no research for this, but there
Hey,
were
what's the
two
point in doing research, eh?
No,
Jeez.
I know. Top of my head, man. So there were two venues talked about for SummerSlam '92. One of them was Washington, D.C., and there was talk of Brett and Shawn having their first ladder match in Washington, and the other venue was Wembley Stadium. And obviously, WWF in the UK was doing incredibly well. So I would imagine that was, you know, a large part of the decision behind SummerSlam being here. And I mean, there were yeah, I mean, we can go into like other things like matches that were planned that didn't happen and um, other bits and bobs. And yeah, just I guess we'll get to that
Should we
when
talk
we
about
get to it.
wrestling?
We want to talk
Um,
about the yeah.
wrestling. Lee, obviously we probably mentioned it about how big wrestling was back in '92. Was the boom of that from the Royal Albert Hall battle?
Well, I think the I can go back further than that, to be honest, because um, I'm under pressure now, trying to remember everything that I've researched and
Oh,
written
is that
in this lovely book,
written in
which
your
is
book?
Are you written a book there? Are you written a book? Can you just hold that up a little bit more?
What's your book called, Dudley?
it is called Rampage. There you go. Can you see that in there? Look at
Oh,
that. It's a big boy too. Look at that. It's not a pamphlet.
it's not a pamphlet. There's a lot of rampages.
It's a beefy boy, that one. Yeah, but in terms of the popularity, you can go back before that because the initial Rampage tour in April of 91. That was selling out in record time. And the WWF hadn't actually been here since 89 at that point. So it was really just from a year of Sky Television, that popularity. But if you go back and look at, I know people like to pick on Dave Meltzer for all the things that he gets wrong, and he does get the odd thing wrong, like everyone. But if you go back to February of 91, when those tour tickets sold out, he was predicting then that the UK and the foreign tours across Europe were going to be more popular than shows back in the US. So as far back as then, people were talking about it in the States, the fact that it was becoming really, really huge over here. And later that year, just to contrast with what was happening in the States, so obviously when people talk about the WWF WCW rivalry, everyone talks about the Attitude Era for obvious reasons. But I think it was September 91, WCW was actually getting higher ratings on cable than the WWF back then.
Well, it would have, in the sense that it was available in more homes.
Did contribute to it, but yeah, absolutely. But there was, yeah, the popularity in America, it was really at its lowest point since the national expansion, but it was the total opposite here. And yeah, I mean, Pablo was saying there were different venues looked at, and at the end of 91, again in the Wrestling Observer, they were reporting that there was interest in bringing a show here to the UK, a big pay-per-view, but the decision didn't actually come till much later, as we know now. But yeah, fast forward to when it was announced in June the next year, because originally it was booked in Maryland, and something that I have mentioned in the book was the fact that
Is that book called Rampage, by the way?
it is called
Right,
Rampage,
okay.
yeah.
Rampage.
But
Available on Amazon or
not at the minute. It will be on Amazon, but we prefer people not to use Amazon because they take a big cut. But yeah, it will be available elsewhere.
and where can we buy it currently?
You can go to my Instagram page. There's a link on there, or on
Wonderful.
Facebook, or on X, whatever you prefer. There's a little Shopify link on there. It's probably your best bet,
Very
and
good.
it helps out the little people like me, and not just funding Jeff Bezos's big weddings.
You
So.
don't seem too little.
Yeah.
Awkward now if you were.
Um, But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, in the book, which is available on the Shopify link, which is on my X, Instagram, Facebook,
Called Rampage.
called Rampage, um, there were actually British travel companies advertising package deals to go to. You said Washington, Pablo. It is that neck of the woods. It's Maryland, so I think it is. I'm not sure if it's technically Washington, but anyway, it's somewhere in that area, certainly. But yeah, so people were selling holidays, and you could get 2 weeks in the States. You'd go to Disney, go to SummerSlam. So people were actually selling tickets for it. So it was very late that the change got announced. But that month when it was announced in June of 92, if you look at Wrestling Observers around that time, you will frequently see the words ratings reached an all-time low this week. So in the States, just interest completely died. But here, yeah, it was crazy popular.
And without really a card being announced at that point either.
No,
No.
Yeah.
absolutely not. And something that we'll see when we get onto it is most of the matches were just plucked out of thin air too, because this is a show that ignores pretty much every major feud that had been going on TV. Which, if this happened now, if SummerSlam just gone, they just said, all right, it's going to be Cody and LA Knight, it's going to be, I don't know, Roman Reigns against Penta, and just threw these matches together. That's kind of what it was like, because they ignored
They've done it for Saudi and Australian
pretty
shows.
much. Yeah.
Been banned for it. Like,
It was so yeah, it was a card put together late. But yeah, we'll kind of get onto that as we come to it. By the way, I should just say as well, I've never done a podcast before. If I am prattling on, just have a word.
Hey,
You
you can't really ever go at someone for talking on a podcast, mate. It's
I know.
well,
It's
not,
like
not,
it's
everything you've said has been succinct. So get out of your own head is the only thing I'll tell you about
Yeah, okay.
continuing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm really
Yeah.
fucking rude. I will just interrupt you.
I was quite hoping you'd be rude to me, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck you.
That's
Doing your
kind of why
book.
I'm here.
Well, it starts the show with just the ICO Pro logo, which is
Amazing.
yeah, always you don't really see it around much nowadays, do you?
Before what's the crowd in Chicago? They make shit t-shirts of this podcast. Pro Wrestling Tees
Ah, yeah.
went legit. They used to be called 1 Hour Tees, and they sold an ICO Pro shirt, which I had about 15 years ago.
Oh, imagine the first wash on that, and that was gone.
Yeah, it was. They were all shit. I had a Muta shirt as well, but they went legit then. Like
It
people
literally just said the
kind of,
word cop after
yeah.
one wash, did it?
Yeah.
So yeah, Wembley Stadium, as you mentioned, was Washington. Apparently, one of the reasons why they moved it was because the WrestleMania 8 sales didn't do too well.
The Hoosier Dome. Yeah.
Well, it's in
Yeah,
Indianapolis. I mean, it's hardly a touristy.
no,
It's not a WWF hotbed for a start, and it's not a touristy place anyway. Like I was surprised. Didn't they just do a Mania or some big event in
Something
Indianapolis?
recent.
Like
Rumble they did in Indianapolis this
I
year.
guess things might be different now, but it just felt a bit weird for a Mania.
oh yeah, I don't know anyone that's gone on holiday there, to be honest.
Everything's a bit more accessible now, I suppose. So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, everyone's got the internet. They can Google how shit places are. Um, but the people at the start, it sort of felt a bit racist about like all how British it was with the. I've lived in England for 35 years, and I don't know one person that sounds like any of the people who interviewed at the start of that.
Like the chimney sweep from
Just yeah, it was proper
a
like,
Dickens novel.
I,
Like,
hello, Governor. I like
hello,
the
how's your polling?
I like the Undertaker.
Yeah,
It was all very odd.
it
Um,
really was bizarre.
the Bulldog kid gets a special shout out. People only realised recently that that is a girl.
It is a lady.
It's a
Yes.
lady. Wonder what she's up to now. I would sort of wonder. Have you ever interviewed her, Pablo? It's not the sort of person that you'd
I've
interview.
tried. Like I did try, couldn't find it. This was kind of before. I can't remember who found her, but it was a bigger podcast than mine with more
Yeah,
ability to
there's
find
been a
people, I
couple
guess.
of bits online. Yeah,
Yeah, and someone made a figure of her as well. It was
of
Tippy,
course,
the
Tippy
Tippy.
made a
I
figure.
think it's Tippy.
yeah, I think it was the whoever made the it was that Wrestling Arcade who made the Aldo Montoya statue and the Scotty the Body. They made the Bulldog Kid. Um, yeah.
Brilliant. I think it's I love the way that she sort of started off very British and halfway through switched a little bit to American as well.
yeah, it's like a mix of American and Yorkshire. It's just a bit of it. I love it. I love that whole thing at the start. I think there's there's so much neon polyester knocking about.
Yeah.
It wouldn't pass a risk assessment
Oh,
these days, would it?
if
Let's be
if
honest.
you go to the Oasis gig, mate, it's probably very similar views there this year than it
Mm.
was outside the stadium there.
Yeah.
Just people dressed like it's the 90s.
Yeah, I just love the amount of polyester and the face paint. And I think it's brilliant at the start. They should have done more with those scenes.
There's
And
a little clip.
I
Sorry.
always like on these shows as well. There's always girls really glammed up that are just there to see Shawn Michaels. I just love the optimism of it.
Yeah, there's a little clip of the police just smiling at each other. It's like the most pleasant show to
Yeah,
go to. Like there was not going to be a riot at the show, was there? Like
No one was getting stabbed.
no.
No. I felt that way when I was at the AEW in the same place as well. I did not feel in any way threatened.
No. Rightfully so. I don't think anyone could have thrown a punch if they tried. Upon here, Pablo merch. It's just a little prompt just to speak to you, Pablo, about what sort of crazy merch you might have for this. Because
I should have grabbed
I know you
some,
like your
shouldn't I?
mental stuff, don't you?
Well,
You're probably one
I
of the
should have
few
grabbed
people
some
that
stuff.
owns a Poochie Super 7 figure behind you there.
we've had a chat before, Pablo, because I was just to let you in again. By the way, from Pablo did help me out a little bit with my book Rampage.
Was that a Rampage?
It's called Rampage, yeah. So
Get it on your
just
Shopify for
before,
me.
sorry, I'm jumping in and interrupt, but I'll let you get on in a sec, Pablo. But we had a bit of a Zoom call because I was trying to find some information on the candy sticks and the Easter eggs from this era. So obviously, who am I going to go to? But this guy. But he has got the most frightening, intimidating merch collection I've ever
Oh,
seen. But it's also very rousing at the same time, I have to say.
It's,
But it is so intimidating, the stuff he's
Yeah.
got. It's
No, you
unbelievable.
couldn't make up like Israeli cans of Coke with wrestlers on them. You couldn't make that up. Like in your dreams, you can't make that up.
No,
Like
yeah,
nah, there are
completely
people with
insane.
bigger collections. I've honed mine in on certain things. I like UK-based stuff, but this is why love all that sport and superstar stuff. And I think this is why we get along quite well because my collection it wouldn't exactly look good for the love of wrestling on display. Like
just a crisp
forms and
packet.
crisp packets and stuff like
man needs to clean that house.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably have the cleaners in the morning go around being like,
that. But yeah, no, SummerSlam '92 so there were three different caps. There's a gold one, there's a green one, and there's also a pink, luminous pink one. You see tons of them in the audience at SummerSlam, and the thing you see more of than anything else is
hands.
the bum finger. Yeah,
Yeah, can't move for
with
foam fingers.
so it's got Bulldog on the back, and it's got the SummerSlam Wembley Stadium thing on the front. And I mean, they did a windbreaker jacket. They did two different T-shirts with the SummerSlam logo on. They did a Brett versus Bulldog, which is like mega sought after SummerSlam T-shirt. They did the sunglasses. And the one thing that I did buy, I bought it directly from Nails. I since sold it on because he had an eBay store. He might still have it. Um, Anyone who worked for SummerSlam was given by Wembley Stadium a leather like duffel
Oh,
bag
I've seen
with
those. Yeah,
Yeah.
SummerSlam on it and blah blah blah. So I bought it direct, and that's the program as well. So I bought that directly from him, and yeah, like I say, it's not the most impressive thing to display and takes up a lot of room, so I end up just selling it on. But
it's his eBay page called Nail Sales.
it should be. Oh well, also as well, Lee, as you'll know, it was I think the Daily Mirror did the SummerSlam wall chart
Oh
as
yeah.
well, which was the
Oh,
second wall chart because they did the European ramp or the UK Rampage, then they did
That's a
SummerSlam, then they
book,
did
isn't it?
Mania 9.
yeah, they did a WrestleMania 9 onto, yeah, those wall charts were just legendary. I mean, it was essentially an extension of the Murder and Sticker albums, but
Yeah.
just really greasy, dirty, tatty newspaper instead and Brit stick everywhere.
That's
But it was amazing.
that won't prick stick.
I'm
Um,
actually watching the model flirting with Sherry, and Jesus,
no, a bit ahead of yourself there, mate.
no, but
Talking about crisp
Yeah,
packets.
I know, but
Bit ahead of
I'd watch them
yourself.
do it.
Just a Martell sandwich. Um, so yeah, sort of makes you think on what the intro is. They did do a camera outside the stadium. Now if they did something from over here, what it would look like. All I could think was just knife crime, just just constant knife crime throughout the audience.
They
Give me
did
your
when they
phone.
did
Give me your phone.
when they did Insurrection in Newcastle in 2003. Usually when they do them in London or Liverpool or Manchester, it would be like a shot of the city and the skyline and stuff like that. For Newcastle, they barely just got the sign of the arena in because it's like a dump next to it. There's nothing going on. It's just like a landfill next to it. So yeah,
They
it
always
could have been anywhere, that Insurrection.
they always interview someone outside that looks like they're called Gareth. Which, regardless of what arena it is, there's always some British bloke with curtains, leather jacket. Looks like he's not in a shower in his life, but I don't imagine there was a dry vagina in the house with all that merch. Um, Bobby Heenan was on commentary, King Bobby to be exact.
With the old
Which
crown, yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't made a figure of that yet. There's not many.
Well, you can use Kaku's crown on Bobby's head.
It's a red crown though, damn.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, Your Majesty.
get it right, mate. Out of interest, Dan, do you know the British wrestler Saraya? What would she go by in WWE?
Well, Paige here.
What was her? If you was to ask her what memory computers have, followed by her name, what would she say?
Rampage.
Rampage. There you go. Go by the book.
Good.
First match: Money Inc. versus Legion of Doom.
well,
Are we
Oh,
incorporating
was
dark
oh,
matches?
you're going
Holly,
dark. Oh, I was going to say the dark matches
oh,
Let's do.
for half. But I tell you what, because there is dark matches at the start, but there's also some halfway
yeah, see,
through.
I
Am I right
forgot
in
to
saying
ask, are
that?
we doing Are we
So
going to
tell you
go
what,
with the
let's do
full
the
event or
let's
the
let's do the
televised?
dark matches now because it's before the event, but then we'll do the halfway through one halfway through.
Super chronological, baby.
Someone's just got to tell me when halfway is. When is halfway?
Well, the other dark match comes after Macho Man
After
Warrior.
Warrior Set.
There we
Yeah.
go. Right, so I'll make a mental note to include that. Well, what are the dark matches?
The first one was the Bushwhackers and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the illustrious team of Bushwhackers and Jim Duggan, against the Mountie and the Nasty Boys.
And I think
Yes.
that they uploaded that to WWE Vault very recently.
They have
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that one that because they released a Blu-ray and a DVD of this in the last
Yeah.
couple of years, didn't they? And they included a couple of the Shango was included as an extra match, wasn't it? Shango Tito. Was there a Cooker Beware match or have I made that up?
Yes.
He was on a lot of PPVs.
Yeah, I might have made that one up then. But this match overall was interesting, and so would be the fucking circus match. Bushwhackers are a laugh, though.
It's a
Before sorry,
Butlin's
go on,
match, isn't it? You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
People love the Bushwhackers.
they really did.
So yeah, they won, didn't they? Bushwhackers and Hacksaw
Yeah.
got the victory, which makes it weirder for later on in the show with the promo from the Nasty Boys when they're asking for a tag title match.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad
sure,
you
it
brought
wasn't
up
on
the
telly.
promo. Sorry.
Counts. So what do they do with this? Because Lee, do you know sort of why they put this as a dark match? Was it always their plan for that? Or?
I've got an idea, but before I talk about that, I did just want to, because you mentioned the Nasty Boys promo, and it immediately made me think of a promo they did at the Albert Hall. Like, does anyone recall that one?
Yes.
Because I'm very glad that they managed to tone it down for SummerSlam and didn't reference Adolf Hitler as they had done in
Yeah.
that one. I think we could all agree this.
I think it's cut from the WWE Network broadcast.
It's on YouTube still, though.
Is it?
Yeah,
I've definitely seen it quite recently.
And I remember watching it as a kid, but I'm sure I didn't understand what they were saying.
He's
So.
the biggest hill going, though, isn't he?
I think
He.
Jerry Sags describes Hitler as some cat called Adolf. I was like, come on, mate.
That's
It's like,
it's cheap, isn't it? It's
I think we could all agree there's such a thing as too many Hitler references in wrestling. Like, we definitely don't need those. So I was just glad they toned it down. But in terms of the match, do you know what? I don't know if it was even supposed to be a dark match, but obviously this is an era where pay-per-view running times actually had some importance because you'd have to pay the pay-per-view companies if you ran over and all those sorts of things. So it was potentially just a cost-cutting measure with the international feeds and everything else.
And I mean, they clipped the show and edited it around for PPV a few days later anyway.
Yeah, it was 2 days later anyway. So I'm guessing they were just trying to bring it down and just cutting bits out they thought were expendable.
just when which matches were shit.
But the thing is, though, the crowd for this match are going absolutely mental. This could be WrestleMania main event crowd. So
Yeah.
I feel like it should be included in the main show.
Because it really did open the show, and then the crowd went nuts for Legion of Doom. But when I saw that, because I've seen it recently, like on WWE Vault, I was like, this is the first wrestling that most of these people ever got to see, and there's so many kids.
What a shame. What a shame that is.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Bushwhackers and Duggan were fairly class entertainers, whatever about their work rates, etc.
Well, Duggan was there for majority of the promotion, wasn't he? Every time you saw him promoting somewhere, there was just him there with his plank of wood.
Yeah.
And his 2x4.
Yeah, it was the crowd reaction was unbelievable. And I did actually, when I started out writing Rampage, I did actually manage to speak to Bushwhacker Luke, and he was talking to me. And because you do wonder sometimes, obviously SummerSlam 92, it meant so much to so many of us, but it doesn't necessarily mean that to the wrestlers. It's just their job, isn't it? So it might not be really any different to a show they've done at Madison Square Garden or what have you. But as soon as you mentioned SummerSlam 92, it just came alive, and you could just tell, even for the wrestlers, this was a really special experience. And he was describing to me this, when they do the bit in the ring, and basically they're just going around all the ring ropes, just gesturing to the crowd, and the crowd all coming back to him. But that's amazing to me. You know, they weren't taking any bumps, and everyone was completely into it. Like that to me, that's the magic of pro wrestling.
Yes, yeah, as well. Like, obviously for the Bushwhackers, especially, it must just be really like because they were deathmatch wrestlers about 4 years before,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
a big glow up from.
Oh
What was
yeah.
Yeah.
what was the second dark match at the start?
Papa
Well, that was,
Shango and El Matador.
and it was originally going to be Texas Tornado against Papa Shango.
See, I heard it was Hogan as well. It was supposed to be
But
Hogan
um,
Shango and then Tornado Shango.
Yeah, I don't
but
think Hogan would have taken that shoulder breaker that Santana took in this match because it looked brutal, that one. Yeah.
But Shango's always been good, intimidating. The shoulder breaker's a good finisher as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a shame that they had to do it in the daylight though, because when they can do all the effects at night and stuff like that, I think that would have worked really well. Like if they'd have moved that to the other dark match later on, I think it might have. Especially
Ironically,
since Shango was slightly figured into the IC title match because he placed a curse on Bret Hart, and but that was never really mentioned, and I don't
well,
think
why would they
WWF
mention
even.
it?
There's lots of stuff like I think Lee will probably touch on it better. Lots of stuff that used to just happen on Superstars and then never ever get followed up on. Like
Mhm.
and obviously I've watched religiously every week. Like
It's,
I
it's,
just I
it's,
saw recently there was the genesis of a feud between Brett and Bam Bam and it just never went anywhere. Like
it's the
Yeah.
Rush collectibles of figure
yeah.
wood. um,
It's funny with this with talking about Papa Shango though. It's something I kind of alluded to earlier, but this was one of the big feuds that was completely ignored for SummerSlam too, because um, in this year, Papa Shango and the Ultimate Warrior, obviously they'd had the stuff on Superstars with the curse and everything else, and just in this year alone, they'd faced each other. I think it was 55 times in US live events. So this was a feud they were promoting everywhere. They were doing the stuff on TV with the goo coming out of the eyes and whatever else. And it just didn't get a payoff. And to me, this would have been the ideal place to pay off that feud. But it was just completely ignored. And Shango was with El Matador for some reason. So yeah,
next
that was
best
one
thing.
of many bizarre matchups in this card, really.
Yeah, it was very house show-esque, bar a couple of things like that
Mm.
easily can make sense, but and a couple of thrown together things in advance.
I'd say most of it was thrown together, but then at the same time, it still managed to produce one of the most important pay-per-views ever. So it just goes to show, actually, sometimes people talk about long-term booking and all this other stuff and how these feuds should be carried out. But do you know what? Sometimes if you have all the right ingredients, you can just throw something together and it could be amazing, and you don't have to overthink it. And I think this show is an example of where you can just through different factors coming together at the same time. You can throw things together sometimes. So
Sorry, if you were
going on the
who
soapbox
needs
already. I've gone
storylines
early.
when you can give a racist gimmick a shoulder break and everyone's happy? Hey, who needs bloody storylines, mate?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
did Money Inc. come out first with
Well,
Oh, there we go. Draw off again.
oh,
Will Money Inc. ever
sorry.
come out?
Well, there's a bit, and I don't know, Lee, if you've put this in your book or not, but the Legends ceremony that they did at SummerSlam '92 that wasn't aired.
No, mate. Which book is this you're referring to?
The Page
Oh,
Ram,
this.
Oh,
Oh,
Page Ram.
yeah,
That's the one.
Page Ram,
that
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
If
No,
you
I
read
didn't
it backwards,
actually. No, I'm going to go back and edit it again. Have I? I've already done that about 5 times.
well,
What have I missed?
there was a Legends ceremony where Howard Finkel introduced several people who happened to be there, including Angelo Poffo, Pat Patterson, Jay Strongbow, and Alfred Hayes. And there's a fan cam somewhere of SummerSlam '92, and when Patterson, the Alfred Hayes clip is used on his tribute video when he passed away. And I was hoping would end up on the Blu-ray, and they never put it. I'm hoping they'll put it on the vault at some point. But if you watch the fan cam version of it, I think it's a kid asks his dad, "Who's this person?" about Pat Patterson, and this is '92. And he was like, it's Pat Patterson. He's the one that nonce the kids or something like that. But
had an awful
But
feeling
obviously,
you were going to go down that.
yeah. Well, no, that's what was said. I'm just, and
Just
so
reporting the facts
but
on the Nonce podcast.
Oh,
Pat, and yeah, obviously no mention of Angelo being Randy's dad or anything like that, or but it was quite a confusing little. I don't know why they did it, but they did, and I would like them to release that at some point. But
I,
yeah, they
I,
did that before the opening match.
I went to the NXT UK brand launch in the Royal Albert Hall, and Johnny Saint came out and did a promo like like a general manager promo, going, "You guys are gonna fight each other in a," and he got everything so wrong that they completely edited it off, and he had to go and do it again about half an hour later. And he goes, "You guys are gonna fight each other in a four-man fatal." And
No.
then the crowd started chanting "four-man fatal" for
oh, brilliant.
and they completely reshot it. And I was standing beside Johnny when he did it, so I'm not going to be on TV now.
Is it funny, Pablo, that you could make something up and tell Lee, and he would just throw him off as to whether he should include it in his book or not?
Yeah, I'm sweating here now. What have I missed? Yeah.
Me and my friend made up that a local drunk got washed up in a beach in Spain, and like 10 years later, we heard it back as a rumor.
I once made up that my old HR woman ran away with a 17-year-old Portuguese boy when on our honeymoon, and then I come back to work at the same place like 6 years later, and someone was like, I was like, "Oh, HR was Sue when I used to work here," and they're like, "Didn't she run away with a 17-year-old Portuguese boy?" I was like, "She did, yeah." She did.
Yeah.
So it's stuck there 6 years. She didn't, but you know,
Probably could very successfully sue you, but hey,
her name was Sue as well, so
there
it
you
makes
go.
sense. Are we ready to move on to Money Inc?
I think we're ready for Money Inc.
Oh, that's good. Only because of IRS's promo having to go at people about not paying their taxes, like we have a choice.
Oh man, that was one of the most heelish promos of all time
It was
because he went
terrible.
in, didn't he? Because yeah, he got the royal family in there.
We
You
like the
know,
Queen. Why is he so pretending that the Queen's bad?
yeah,
Dead now, but
it was yeah, very very good heelish promo from
And
IRS.
Ted in his white,
In his
like
wife from
special.
WrestleMania 9, yeah, in the
Yeah.
same.
I think that's the first time he wore it.
Yeah, and it reminded me when I thought about it that I need that elite figure in the white suit
Oh, it's so
case.
lazily done. Like
I
I've
don't care.
rarely looked forward to a figure as much as that one, and just
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where I know. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to piss on your chips because I've got it as well, but it's just like, oh, they could have done it so much better.
Callum and Rich did it to me about the new Ken Shamrock. I was like, I really want a Ken Shamrock. Well, don't get this, the boots are wrong.
it's it's a great attire. I think it's a shame you don't wear white more often, wouldn't it, Ted?
Yeah,
Like good.
looks good.
Apparently, the UK go to Money Inc. to borrow money if we needed a line of credit, according to
If the Bank
Luke on
of England
Twitter.
needs a,
Yeah, we could
yeah,
do it now, probably, couldn't we?
yeah.
Do it now. Jimmy Hart's jacket. What, what do you reckon his tailor thought when he went?
Yeah, they're incredible those jackets he had made, and it's funny mentioning like Jimmy Hart because one thing I realized when I was going back and like researching the live shows and the shows in '89, the Rampage tours in '91, all that kind of stuff. Jimmy Hart is all over every single one of them. It is you can tell they're just trying to save on airfares because every British show he's out 3 times on that bloody megaphone.
Mm.
I think there might be one where he's out 4 times. It's like it's
The
incredible.
Albert Hall, he
He's
had a
always the
few.
first one through the curtain. It's unbelievable. He earned his money on these tours. I'll give him that.
They probably
No,
sung the songs as well backstage whilst they're there. Make the tea.
Yeah, he is. He might hold the British appearance record, Jimmy Hart, to be honest, if you count up all the individual matches he was involved in. Yeah,
Nice, lovely megaphone. Rock,
yeah.
Was this
Rocket.
meant to be for the tag team titles?
Well, it's advert because their picture on the poster, they got the tag titles on.
But they lost them to the natural disasters a few weeks before or something, was it?
This was another one of the weird matchups, really, because if you're going off feuds and things getting paid off at the big pay-per-view, and this is, what arguably the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. But it should have been LOD and the Beverly Brothers, surely, because they've been feuding on Superstars all year, wrestling on the house shows. That just seemed again like the natural. I don't, but again, in the
Or
end, it didn't
or if
matter.
they were going to do a title match, do the LOD against Money Inc. But I think they took it off Money Inc. and gave it to the Natural Disasters because LOD's contracts.
Well, yeah, they were. Well, Hawk was gone very soon after this.
He wasn't even there, to be honest, was he? He was gone before
He
he even
wasn't
got to
really
the
there at
arena.
Wembley, and he wasn't there at the airport after Wembley
No.
either because he disappeared for a week with the Hell's
Apparently.
Angels.
And the match was, as an adult who watches wrestling, as a kid it was amazing. As an adult who watches wrestling, absolute dog shit, and they phoned it in. Like, but if I was there and I loved it as a child.
Hawk on drugs is still better than Animal
Yeah,
sober.
I wouldn't
Say
say
that.
they all phoned it in. I think they were struggling with Hawk.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. That I
Because
did. I watched that
you,
yesterday evening.
there's
I think
kind
so.
of
Yeah.
you can tell Ted's trying to like he's putting holds on and stuff, and Hawk he's not even kind of resisting, is he? He's just
No.
like he's not putting up any sort of fight, and you just think, oh god, they need to get him out of the ring here.
In fairness, like crackheads are very weak. Like you could get six in a headlock comfortably at once.
He was he he was out of it, but
He must have been in the ring and thinking to himself, "Can anyone else see that fucking puppet on the outside?"
Yeah. And actually, there was another thing. Ellering and Rocco, to us UK and Irish fans, just appeared. There was no context for them. Like,
It was found in like a scrapyard.
yeah,
I want to
There's
say
a
that.
segment on Superstars, yeah, when they
broke that
kind of
episode.
explained it, but yeah, it was a bit weird.
Whereas to Americans who'd watched the NWA before, it makes perfect sense. Like,
It was yeah, because like it's just a massive inconvenience. Rocco, he was on front of Ellering's bike. He couldn't see for shit, and he wasn't the one that crashed his bike either. So it just goes to show. But yeah, it's just an
And
inconvenience.
Animal said in his book that because they're wearing the gold spikes and the gold patterned tights as well, that because they got those made for a photo shoot when they were tag team champions, but then they had that Phantom house show will change to Money Inc. Because of Hawk again at that point. So the first time they wore the shoulder pads was at SummerSlam '92, but they were made, all gold for them being tag team champions. And you probably know the story about Animal getting his tights caught in the muffler of the
Yeah,
motorbike. So they had to cut away. He melted to his leg. Yeah.
this is funny. It's
Has
what's
there
worth
been a figure
noting.
made of the gold things, by
Well,
the way?
Epic have one coming out. I did ask them, is there any update
This
on that?
wasn't planned, by the
Well,
way,
well,
listeners. This is pure
put it in your book,
coincidence.
mate.
it
Yeah,
was
so
announced about 4 years ago, to be
yeah,
fair.
so Cheddar announced it. Yeah, literally about 4 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah,
And yeah, so Epic is they're still coming. It's just it's currently
nice,
it is being made still.
Exciting.
Still happening.
Still
nice. Oh, I'll
happening. So
definitely be in for those.
yes,
Fed
we're
a lot
sort
of
of
it.
we're sort of
Fed
hoping for a deluxe edition now. With no
Yeah.
Ellerin's sort of out of WWE, that could be a possibility as well, including Ellering in there. Not sure what Rocco's Legend Still situation is. Because there was that Build-A-Figure Ellering, wasn't it? The WrestleMania set with
And they actually made Rocco, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
with the test looking edge.
the Ellering was originally going to be made for what was that team that he managed?
Authors
AOP.
of Pain, yeah.
Yeah, it was made for. That's why they have the old head. And
Do you know who's
then
an
when they made
author
the
of
Build-A-Figures,
Rampage? Do you know who an author of Rampage is? It's
God, I haven't done a plug for about 4 minutes. Thanks
Herbert,
for the reminder.
Rampage Book on Instagram.
Sorry, Pablo, as you were.
that's all right. Isn't there about like a million matches on this event? So we should probably.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's
No, there's like this is look, these are talking points here. I have it on in the background. There's about three more that are worth talking about as much as this one.
well,
The rest we can breeze like.
okay. So in the crowd, there was one side with LOD coloured in, apart from the bottom half wasn't, which is just lazy British work. I love it. And another one, there was a sign and it said the word "what," and the word "what" was spelled WYAT, which I thought was really funny. Just classic British, not what else to spell. Unless they were ahead of the game and they knew about Bray Wyatt, that could work. His dad was wrestling at the time.
Yeah, he was wrestling at the literal time.
Oh, yeah, that's always good.
I like the lad who made the shoulder pads out of toilet
Yeah, he
roll.
made them
Yeah,
himself. Like, yeah.
what he's up to nowadays. Uh, Power slam for the
Wrote
finish.
a book, I heard.
Wrote a power slam for the finish rather than the Doomsday device.
Yeah.
DiBiase was not going to take that Doomsday.
No, and that's fair, I think.
When we know what we know now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. The power slam looked good enough as it was anyway. It's proper like SmackDown. Here comes the pain standard finisher.
Fun factoid about this show. It was aired on like Sky Movies or Sky One or something I didn't have, and I watched it in German.
Oh,
About 5 or 6 days later on RTL, we used to always get bizarre channels at different times, so I watched it in German. Yeah.
Das Animal.
001 an 6 Wahl, 0000.
How did they find Saxon's promo on Hitler? Did they mention that?
It was cut.
Oh, that's not good. Um, it's weird that they use this as the first. That was the opening match. I'm guessing if it was the tag titles match, I was planning to go on a bit later on the show, but got the crowd going, I guess, didn't it? Not as much as Nails versus Virgil. Um, Nails, big eBay seller. Wasn't his gimmick that he was sexually assaulted in prison by the big boss man?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And then he
an odd
beat
start,
a
isn't it?
black person with a stick for ages.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all very uncomfortable in hindsight and with Rodney King, etc. So yeah, well done, WWE.
I'm thinking more about because he was the heel, the man that got
Virgil
sexually
put a promo
assaulted.
right before it. It was really shit.
He was punching Sean Mooney for a good about
Yeah, but it was
Too
point.
so
shit to quit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was so shit. It was good. Yeah.
How was this a SummerSlam match?
Didn't they have to cut like about 10 interviews or something just so because Nails had no theme music, and the
Well,
entrance was about half a mile long.
half of them didn't have theme music. So there's always someone starting in the ring.
Yeah,
Even
and actually,
Warrior.
disappointingly in the next match, someone starting in the ring. Yeah, yeah.
Very weird. But
But on about Bossman, I get this is another match again that's ignoring the feud going on. Like Bossman wasn't
I
in
was
the
kind of wondering, would they have needed something for Survivor Series, I suppose, which was when it happened. Like,
well, I hope the boss man was going for a disciplinary hearing after doing a sexual
need to
assault on
get to the
poor
bottom of it.
Nails.
You know, when someone accuses you of sexual assault, like we have a HR manual here at 3POA. Like,
Yeah, we could. That one time that Dan did it, it's very weird. The finish was very flat. I thought. I didn't know Nails' finishing move was a sleeper.
yeah.
I felt like Virgil should have been given a win here.
Oh, you
No,
can't beat
The
Nails.
crowd would have loved it, and the crowd
love
would have
Nails.
absolutely loved that here. I get the feeling that would have been
He was
better.
over. He was over. They still had
Yeah,
the
I think
year before. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I love.
know it would have kind of killed Nails' aura a bit, but I think just as a one-off, bit of do it as a fluky win if you want. But
You
I
can't
think the
have him
crowd
beat him
would
before Bossman beats him though. Like,
Uh, was it a nightstick on a pole match they had?
That's the
it's
one.
like on a
Yeah.
pole. Yeah, I think they had a cage match on a house show as well.
There we go. That makes sense for the. We'll have a
Warrior
sexual
beat him.
assault match afterwards.
I'm gonna get you, boss man.
And his
Yeah.
farts never made a sound again.
Yeah.
Uh, Alfred Hayes was backstage trying to look on the. Well, we actually call the Macho Man, but as he calls him, the Macho Man,
I'll
Yeah.
show them. Yeah.
which is fucking awful.
Hayes
Um,
so it was great when I was a kid. I loved that World Tour 92 video so much. Like, and he was in a suit announcing all the matches. And then I watched the Wrestling Classic recently enough, and Himesh, friend of the show, also watched it. And I said, "Did you see what I saw from old Hazy?" He's like, "Yeah,
oh, is it being very
cancelled as fuck in this
yeah.
day and age."
I think the most offensive thing that Alfred Hayes did on that World Tour video, though, was referring to the British flag as the flag of England. Like, if an American had done that, you'd say, yeah, fair enough, mate. Like, the UK is not even half the size of like Michigan or something. But Alfred Hayes lived in England till he was about 40. Surely he knows the difference between the English flag and the British flag. Come on.
Okay, right, for posterity, I'm going to ask Jamie, what is the name of your country on your passport?
Britain.
Nope.
I don't know. Actually, to be fair, I used my passport of the day, so I've got it just here. It says, "Mind your fucking business, Dan."
It says the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's the name of the country you live
All right.
in. England is a bit of it.
Yeah, it's the best bit, mate.
It really is.
Here we go. No, it says nationality, British citizen.
There you go.
So I don't know what you're on about with your fucking. Oh, you're at the top where it says United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland.
Hmm.
There's a picture of me, looking like I've had a night in jail with nails. That's it. Oh, there I am.
You really did.
Yeah, boss man. Um, Sherry did an interview backstage as well. I didn't appreciate how Sherry looked
She was.
back then.
I'm allowed to say it now because I didn't really.
Nowadays, oh,
Oh, she was so fucking sexy.
what a fox!
Yeah, yeah.
What a fox! She's like a
Good.
sexy Gary Glitter.
Yeah. No.
It's very Rocky Horror Picture Show, isn't it? Like, I think, yeah, but kind of a little bit more, but it's all white, so it's probably
It's more bloody cocky horror picture hoe, more like, am I right?
but amazingly though, it's not her buttocks that you see the most in the match,
No,
which
it's
is
not.
considering what she's wearing, that's quite amazing,
It
really.
was yeah, more hairy. You tend to see throughout it.
One of the first posts I ever made on the Legion of Hasbro page was I'd just gotten that Mattel Sensational Sherry in the SummerSlam '92 gear, and I said it was an upgrade on the Jax version, and everyone on that page called me a new arsehole. Like I was like, how can you not see that it's an upgrade? They've molded it from head to toe, new parts, But yeah,
It
I've
was
I've, I've
the
stood alone on that.
SummerSlam, because was that the one with that's the Dom builder figure, isn't it?
Yes,
Dom
it is. Yeah,
Mysterio.
and that Sherry
It's
stunk on the
good.
peg, and
Yeah.
it's one of the better figures for me that Mattel have ever made from
My
head to toe.
my
And the,
entertainer's still got 3 of them.
that's insane. Like, I mean, and it should have come with a Shawn Michaels. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But you know, it's an incredible figure. I never understood how that could have got reduced to like £5. But
She's
again, it's
It's
she's
well, we had TTD on a few weeks ago, and he said he was in like, Toys R Us just when it was shutting down in 2018, and he saw a tugboat figure, and he was kind of standing there going, "Who the fuck is this figure for?" Like, because you're in a toy shop, like, do you know what I mean? It's so like it's just the cohort is just too small. Like, yes, the 4 of us love it, but like,
that
no,
is true.
yeah,
outside of us pervs.
yeah.
Martel wearing his tennis attire. And once again,
Yeah,
starts off in the ring.
Yeah, that was
Um,
a disappointment. Good music, like.
Yeah, big
I did
disappointment.
like that they had a promo package of a real reason for this, and I was invested in it as a kid for being
was
so
was there a
fascinated.
real reason?
Yeah,
If
Sherry Martel twice.
they're both heels. If anything, they should have been made into a tag team. It'd be lovely.
Yeah, I was so fascinated by the idea of 2 heels fighting one another. I'd not seen it before.
No punching in the face.
That should have been more made clear during the ring announcing because I don't think the crowd were really aware that you couldn't
No.
really.
No, they hammed it up on TV and in the announcers, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I thought
Sherry
the match
said,
was
didn't she?
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think
all
the,
put
the, the
together.
heel versus heel thing, it's potentially a recipe for disaster, but I thought the way they did this was brilliant. So yeah, top marks for this one. It's really silly.
how,
The crowd,
Killing
how,
the
each other's
crowd
pants
started.
down, but I think it's great.
how
Yeah,
young did HBK look, even compared to 96 HBK? And
Yeah.
it's only 4 years before. How young does he look like?
I think it
yeah.
was round about this time, and I think this possibly even this match where you could just really tell that he was destined for big things here now. This is kind of that time where he's
He's
just starting
feuding
to
with Brett on the circuits, like him and Martel, like, yeah.
really, really, really good stuff in this one. Very silly. Like the bucket and the crowd as well when they bring out the bucket of water. It's like the reaction that bucket gets is
You know
unbelievable.
full well that there's a young Matt Bourne going, "Oh, I've got an idea."
To your point about like just the idea of everything sells the whole thing, it did happen again in 2022, AEW sold the place out to people who generally wouldn't watch it, maybe about 20% of the crowd, less now, but the idea of wrestling in Wembley sold it out. Like,
The Sean's entrance theme was sort of the old school before Sherry sings it, right in saying
Yeah.
that?
yeah,
The size of the fucking mirror that she brought out to the ring, like she's been to a car boot sale.
oh yeah.
Massive.
And I'd say no one wrestling, probably.
Yeah.
Not putting that shit over for
She was
America.
struggling with that as well. There was like whoever booked that should have a long, hard look at themselves. Just get use a mirror for it. Both wearing their Hasbro ties.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Sean's probably one of my favorite Hasbros, if not my favorite. I
Yeah.
think in
Well,
that.
I actually think across the whole show, though, isn't it only the Beverly Brothers that didn't get a Hasbro?
So far, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, unless it's not including Jimmy Hart and so on. But
Yeah, it's managers and announcers, and yeah,
yeah.
I think. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only the Beverly Brothers that didn't get a Hasbro, but they are getting figures soon. But I can't. If rumors are to be believed, but I can't say too much more.
Oh,
I have
cheeky.
heard a whisper, but I will get in big trouble for it.
Is it an indie company that's making them?
I cannot say a
Oh,
single
to be
word. I won't.
fair, I
I've
think
said too
no.
much.
I think we've heard some rumors as well. We're in similar circles, you and I.
We'll talk off when the record button's been switched off
Yeah,
because I will get told.
Pablo's got an erection.
I fucking work for two of them and I get told nothing. So
It's one of them. Rick's arse. I've put a note on Rick Martel's just that, and then Sean, his arse also comes out afterwards.
Yeah,
yep,
there's a
that
lot
was
of
my
that.
highlight.
Was yeah, just sort of Martel shaved everywhere else. But didn't feel the need to shave his ass, which is a shame. But it was
That's the reach though. If you unless you get someone else to do it, obviously.
if I was built like Rick Martel, I just would have not wore any pants. In fairness,
Emma has this stuff like hair removal cream, and I used it on my arse before. And like I have a very hairy arse, and like
uh,
my arse just like stuck to my pants for like weeks afterwards. It was horrible. Like my hair obviously does some sort of job.
Well, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's there for a reason. Did hair removal cream exist in '92? That feels like a recent invention, but
it
maybe I was
must
just
have.
too young to.
It must have invented.
Can't
Yeah,
control razor your arsehole.
yeah.
I think it would have just been a big job in '92, and that's going to be quite
Or a wax.
Or a wax.
A wax thing would do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Or fire. Could use fire.
yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. I wouldn't say. I remember my first hair on my area, and I thought there was a net down there. I thought like a spider would like. Turns out it didn't. Double count out was the finish. Because Sherry fainted, pretended to faint. Bobby Heenan was great for
Yeah.
this match.
And throughout the show, actually, he put on a good performance, and it was one of his last good performances. Like,
Saying stuff like she should be doing the dishes and stuff.
yeah,
Classic.
yeah.
He would love the Lionesses winning the football. He would have loved that. He would have been straight on Facebook, bless him. Not the same spot. And obviously, yeah, Rick Martel comes out with the bucket of water, which exacerbates things. Did it go anywhere else after this? The feud?
Not that I remember. I think he went. Well, Survivor Series was Brett and Sean,
That was kind of the blow off. If it was just yeah.
and it looked like it may have been just done for the event, as in at the TV taping right before it.
Yeah, it was set up. Yeah, as you say, like a week or two before the show, because originally it was supposed to be Brett and Sean, and so this was kind of just cobbled together. This feud, they just did a couple of superstars with Sherry and Martel flirting, but yeah, I think this was very much just thrown together for this one show. Yeah,
Sherry was also with Macho year prior, and
Up
then
until March, yeah, the
yeah,
prior.
until Mania, and then because Mania 7, wasn't it? So that was the
Yeah,
year before, and then Sean the Mania after had Luna.
yeah.
yeah.
And
So what's he
Sherry
have?
was Sherry with DiBiase for a short time after
from
Match.
Mania from Mania 7, so the same night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then she went on the funeral parlor and declared her love for Shawn Michaels and said that DiBiase will let her basically fuck around.
No wonder Jim Cornette liked her so much. Um,
Apparently, she was very well liked by her colleagues, and not because of that. Like, she apparently was a really nice person.
she'll take a bump or two as well, won't she?
Oh, yeah. Took some amazing bumps, yeah.
Yeah. She had some. The Nasties did a promo backstage, as you mentioned at the top of the show. Good. It was very aggressive, very sweaty.
Yeah, very cocaine-y, all right. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very. They asked him for a tag title match, which is sort of a bit odd. And then they asked Jimmy Hart, who said that yes, they had one for some reason. Did that ever go anywhere? Probably not.
A
Oh
lot
no,
of
no. Well,
promos.
that led to the face turn eventually because I don't think the Nasties ever got a shot.
Yeah, it was like that they were fighting with Jimmy because he didn't get them a shot and turned face.
They were like the secondary team. Yeah.
That whole
Yeah.
run of Superstars was on the network like 4 or 5 years ago.
So the only actual continuity throughout the whole thing was something that people didn't even have a match.
Yeah, Bushwhackers appeared to be interviewed later.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're sweating.
The Bushwhackers, Nasties, and Virgil interviews weren't on the original VHS, but they were on the Tag Classic.
Oh, the best thing about it.
That
Yeah,
used
and
the
they're on
VHS.
Netflix. Can't
Well,
confirm.
the Tag Classic used the VHS master that was sent to Silvervision, and if you watch those interviews on the Tag Classic, they're significantly poorer quality. It's almost like they had to dig them out of the archives and re-edit them back into the master that they released on video.
Too legit to quit.
I
Apparently,
think we were all better off for them being added. I think.
100%. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know what it added to the show, but it definitely added something. The Beverleys versus the Natural Disasters. The Beverleys once again were in the ring. As Lanny Poffo gave us a lovely little poem.
Yeah, reference World Cup 66, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
the
he knows
Olympic
the date.
Localized promo. Yeah.
and the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good.
both about 40 years prior to this event, but it's relevant.
You're right about when you talk to Bushwhacker Luke, and he lit up when talking about some of stuff. Because when I interviewed Lanny Poffo once, and that was like the first thing. That and the feud with Hogan are like the two things that like he held as like his highlights. And he said the poem on the podcast as well. And I was just like,
What I found out recently was that Lanny Poffo, according to the Honky Tonk Man's shoot interview, not me, was able to suck his own knob.
Oh,
I have heard that one before.
Yeah.
is he into all that, or is it just sort of a?
I didn't ask him as well. I should have asked him.
Oh,
Listeners,
you should have done.
answers on a postcard.
You should have called him Lanny Puffo.
Well, if you were able to suck your own knob, would you do it?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Right. info@epictoys.co.uk.
Tell Kate.
Answer
Yeah.
your postcard.
Oh, please God. He must have just figured out how to do it. It's genius.
Sorry to interject, guys. I've just had a message back on eBay. You know the green cap you mentioned before, Pablo? SummerSlam 92 cap. There's one on eBay right now.
Nice.
I've just had a message back because it looked quite good in the photos, but I wanted to know quality. Thinks it's unworn, but it's been stored, so it's quite flat. It's been stored badly, apparently, but he's saying it's unworn. £52.68 starting bid. What do you think?
Bad. It's not bad. Yeah. I can't remember how much I paid for the green one, but I think I paid about that for the gold one. Never saw a pink one.
Can't
You
rush
were.
it.
Yeah. And you could tell by the color because I had one of those gold caps, but it was so
Yeah.
discolored and it was like a silver at that point, and then I eventually get a nice gold one.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
I mean, if you can get it, I would say get it because it's
It looks pretty
amazing.
minty. It's been on my want list for a long time.
So look, if people wanted to buy the hat, go and buy a book, and that will help support the hat.
Are you talking about?
That book. What's the code you can use for 10% off that one, mate?
Oh yeah, and if you're listening to this podcast, and if you are a listener to the podcast, yeah, you can use code 3POA and save 10%.
If you need help spelling that, it's 3POA.
Number 3, yeah, P for Papa, Oscar, Alpha. That's
Yeah.
it. Just
Or
four. You just got to press four.
points of authority if you're a Jay-Z fan.
Just got to type in 4 keys, and you can save 10%.
10% of
Yeah.
that one. So that's yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lee can buy yourself a hat.
Yeah, if you do that, I can buy the green SummerSlam hat finally.
Oh, I'm worn as well. But change that. I look a little chilly sweet way outside Wembley Arena to be interviewed. I love this hat, Governor. Uh, if uh, if any of you ask me, Jamie, name someone that's still alive from this event. Tugboat or Typhoon will be very low down the list, I think, of Fred Ottman. Um, he's still going. He was a full wrestler a few years ago. Still in good shape, still in good
Hall of
spirits.
Fame this year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Beverly
really
Brothers worked hard in this match. They were
they
working
had
on
to.
it. Yeah.
I liked the finish of this match.
Yes.
And I'll tell you for why. Because one of them tried to get into ring, so it made sense. And then obviously Earthquake just fucked
Knocked
him
them
off.
off. Yeah.
Fucked him off the ropes. Full WrestleMania 2000 N64 style.
But I like that because, like, you know, the way things just defy logic so much. I'm like, oh my God, he's cheating. Well, if you're going to cheat, like, shoot him. Like, but knock him off the apron so he can't interfere. Good
I,
idea.
I've watched Typhoon wrestle quite a lot. I couldn't tell you what his finishing move is.
It's a splash.
Flash.
Oh, that's boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even when he was Tugboat, did he do the
I feel,
splash?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. That's how I know, actually.
But
I feel
once
like it could
again,
have
the
been.
crowd for this, it was like a WrestleMania main event crowd again for this one. It's absolutely bonkers how much
They were
they're into
loving
it.
it. They were loving it.
And I just think that elevates every single match on this, just the
Yeah.
crowd interaction. Because I mean, I didn't watch all of SummerSlam the week just gone, but some of the matches, like you can kind of hear a pin drop throughout, whereas this is just relentless. Everything's being cheered, everything's being booed. It's just, yeah, it's on another level.
And it really is when you think that so much, like you can hear more in an arena because it's closed, even with less people. But like this is not closed, and you can still hear so much
Yeah.
and feel so much of an atmosphere, which isn't the case having been to one stadium show versus loads of arena shows. Like the atmosphere is better in arenas generally, but not in this case, which makes it so special.
Yeah, definitely. And you've just reminded me of something when I was chatting to the repo man, Barry Darso. He commented on the stadium noise and said to me that, yeah, it's interesting what you just said there because he said the way the noise echoes, you kind of get noise from down the front, and then 10 seconds later, you'd start to hear it from the top.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to slow your match down and try and work around the fact that you were going to get this ripple effect of the cheers rather than all like in an arena, you just get the roar, whereas there it was kind of echoing around. So
AEW was similar, like, and you could see the
yeah.
only one really able to work it better than everyone else was in his 50s. It was the Stinger. Like, yeah.
What are you going to say, Pablo?
No. Don't think about it. No, I think that tag because considering it was for the tag titles and it didn't really have a build or anything like that, I feel like that could have been the match that may have lost the audience a little, but it really didn't. And I think that, I mean, it's just wrestling back then generally, like everyone was distinct and had memorable outfits and looks and stuff like that. And I think, especially if you're back row at Wembley Stadium, I think even little things like DiBiase wearing white and stuff like that, you'll notice that more from the back of the stadium. And
Yeah.
I think it's easy to tell watching this, even with the heel versus heels and the two face versus face matches, there was the crowd sort of veered towards one side. They did with Martel and stuff like that. And I think it was, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it almost had everything had to be overemphasized, like panto sort of thing,
Yeah.
to reach the back of the arena. And I really enjoyed the AEW show, but when they did that Anarchy in the arena, and you couldn't see half of it,
Boring.
and I felt like the biggest mistake that they made was that they used the live broadcast for the big screen. So we're watching like replays of shit that we've just seen on the big screen instead of like actually having its own feed so we could actually see close-ups of what's
So,
happening in
yeah,
the
because I
arena.
was very far back and it took the enjoyment out of it for me as
Mhm.
well. Yeah, and like that, yeah, no, it was so special. And would you, Lee and Pablo, say that there's also an element here is that we never saw superstars, quote unquote, really fight one another except like 4 times a year, because and we'd 1 hour a week of squash matches, and that was our exposure, like to it. Whereas Finn Balor and AJ Styles could fight each other next week on Raw. We should be spooging over it, but it'd be like, meh.
No, I agree. And you know the thing about everyone also having the Hasbro, that's like just that was enough to make someone larger than. And I know the Nails Hasbro probably wasn't out at that time and stuff like that, but you know, just that you had that toy at home, and you
Yeah.
also didn't have a whole lot of wrestling merch probably until that night because you probably exposed to more memorabilia that night than you ever had been
Yeah,
before
there's
that.
no internet like as well, so it was just yeah.
I was always like, I honestly think if they would have sold Hogan shirts there that night, they probably would have sold a million of
Oh,
them. But
No
100%.
doubt,
there was
no
there
doubt.
was smart there was probably smart to not have the crowd full of Hogan shirts. Um, but yeah, I wish I could have went. But I mean, my first show was early '93, and it's just it was just more special. And I'm probably speaking about it in a nostalgic dinosaur way, but you know, yeah,
I'm
the
the
quality
Di-
for
exact
the
the exact
Dinosaurs
same.
can't talk, so you're all right.
My first show was early '93. It was WCW in the Point in Dublin, and the world title changed.
You saw the title change. Holy shit. That's so cool.
Like you can see on the video, Harley Race shouting at me and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, and I didn't know who Harley Race was. Well, I did. He was Vader's manager. But then in later years, to find out who he actually is, and like I said it on the podcast this week. It only came out yesterday. Thanks for listening. Harley Race shouted at me when I was a child, and so did Raven and Rick Rude. Like, and that's like that's really special. Like as well to see, and I think it caught the bug with me for forever.
Was it as special as seeing two members of Demolition in different gimmicks
But
fighting each
just
other?
if you fucking really pissed me off there because I had like, when are we moving on to the demolition explodes? Go.
This Crush the Repo Man. Repo Man once again didn't really get an entrance, did he?
No, and absolutely banging music,
I
so it
love his
just
music.
annoyed me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
What
entrance music, Repo Man.
his
Yeah.
his job was just to someone didn't pay their bills. He was just coming to. He's a bailiff, wasn't he?
yeah,
Why
Yeah.
does that instantly make him a heel? Just pay your bills, isn't it? Just do his job.
Well, when I spoke to him, Barry Darso told me that well, his plan was eventually to take it babyface and have it almost like a Robin Hood type character. But yeah, I don't think it didn't really ever materialize. Um, but yeah, in terms of his ring gear as well, it's actually quite logical, the tire tracks. Does everyone know this? Why add tire tracks on it?
Does it to do with someone running him over?
Well, it's the job where statistically you're most likely to get run over by someone. Because when you're trying to repossess stuff, they'll just run you over, apparently. So yeah, there was actually logic behind that ring gear, which I was quite impressed by.
There wasn't any logic behind how these do submissions though back in the day, was there? Because you can't see Reaper Man quit at all. He just sort of sat there.
I loved it so much though. Like they presented it to a child, like, oh my God, he can crush his head. That's so cool.
Yeah,
And
I
kept,
love Crush, but
All
the
the kids
finish is
doing that.
just
Yeah, and it's
mm,
annoyed me that FC Toys didn't do their crush like that, like
mm,
the Hogan Hub.
yeah.
That would have been cool.
But I think with a better finisher though, Crush could have been the Goldberg of this era if he just had a better finisher. I just think he had the size. Obviously, he wasn't a great wrestler, but you could have just put him in there, like do some big power moves,
I imagine
teamwork.
so. Like a lot of powerful people were really, really fond of the guy. Like I imagine keeping
Yeah.
out of jail probably would have helped him as
I
well.
I loved the Crush. I loved the look. Just the finisher. I just thought, oh, it's just the Crush was just a bit rubbish.
And I so bought into Jailbird Crush because I knew from like Pro Wrestling Illustrated or my dad told me or something that he did go to prison, and I was like, what? He went to prison? That's awful. Like you don't have concept of that as a
Wonder,
child.
wonder
Then he
if
came back to Jailbird Crush. He was such a heel.
wonder if Boss Man assaulted him as well. Did you have to soap there, Crush?
I think now I could be wrong on this, and Lee, you may know, you'll know better.
This is another
The
trick.
no, well, the Sky broadcast of this, I think it was the Crush Repo Man match where they quickly cut away to like some football results during the match.
Possibly.
I think OSW might have talked about it as well, not to plug
Okay.
other podcasts, but the yeah,
They also have an
I think
Irishman.
it was
They all
They're all
all
Irish.
Irish. We just get their off
I've
cuts.
met one of them, and he was really, really nice. But,
but
yeah.
yeah, I think that happened on during that match.
Possibly, which is
What was the score?
even more bizarre is that it wasn't even shown. Like, it was shown 2 days later, so you'd think it would just be press play on the tape,
Because I
gone. So
think I think Battle Royal at the Royal Albert Hall was live on Sky Movies.
yeah, the Rampage shows were live, yeah. Because the 93, I think that was a Sunday, like six, it was like 6 till 8 on a Sunday. Battle Royal at the Albert Hall live, yeah, and the Rampage before that was live. This was the only UK show to date that had been on a pre-record, but that was because all the others weren't being shown in the States. Whereas this one, with the international feed, the time difference, so they just put it all back to 2 days later. But yeah, that was it. Because Albert Hall, they didn't even know what that was in the States,
Well, they
which is
didn't
weird
know.
because it was then referenced at Royal Rumble '92. They were on about the Samovar Trophy,
Battle of our Trophy,
but
yeah.
it hadn't been shown in the States. So they must have all been thinking, what the hell are they on about with this? Like,
Bulldog, because he did his promo with Rumble '92, and he just can't say Royal Albert Hall. Just for the,
yeah,
he's
he's on
all
about this Battle Royal, isn't it?
in
But they,
my
yeah, they
home
must have been really
tone.
confused to think, it's just like another one of these, Pat Patterson winning the IC title in Brazil
Yeah,
or whatever.
it goes in my hometown. I want
Yeah,
a Royal Albert Hall.
And that show I loved so much because I watched it like sitting down with my parents and like
It was the first video I ever owned, as I mentioned before.
yeah, that
It's,
was the cover was so good on that with the LOD. Like that was
the most house show thing you see as an adult, but I still loved it. Like
it's all on YouTube now as well. Macho v Warrior was
yeah.
up next. At first I was like, why is there a World Cup match halfway through the show? And then you get to the finish and you're like, that's why.
but it closed the show in the States, didn't it?
It was promoted as the main event in the States, but it still didn't close the show.
Oh, did it not?
Unless
I thought
I mean, I could be
It
very
would have
wrong
been
on
hard because the sun going
that.
down. It would have
Yeah, yeah.
been
But it was promoted as the main
yeah.
event because, and the thing is, it objectively, I can see exactly why that they did promote it as the main event because Brett and Bulldog. That seems like the obvious main event to us because we've got the emotional attachment to it. But for WWF, this was the first major pay-per-view without Hogan. So it's a bit like when you guys do a podcast and there's no Dan. You're wondering how the hell are we going to still get people to tune in now with this missing.
people actually write in to say that they like the podcast more when I'm not on them.
Oh, I'm not one of those people, Dan. Absolutely
There
not.
you are.
I'm
Yeah.
the opposite. If Dan's not on it, I
Turn it
might
off. Just turn
listen.
it off.
But
I just put an
so we
accent
had
on. I like that.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
so we had no Hogan, and the thing is, at
Yeah.
this time, Brett and Davey, neither of those had been presented as main event level superstars. It was the secondary title, and pay-per-view buys were already going down the toilet. So objectively, it makes total sense that
Two biggest
in America
stars.
they would promote this as the main event because they were probably shitting themselves thinking no one's going to buy Brett and Davey. But which is mad because obviously now it's gone on to become one of the most famous matches in history. But at the time, there was a lot of concern that nobody was going to buy this. And actually, in the States, pay-per-view buys were pretty poor for this show, even with Warrior Savage. Anyway, I'm going off on one of my tangents
Hey,
again,
that's
aren't
what
I?
you're here for, mate.
Oh, it's
You
great.
want to read more about your tangents, mate?
Oh
Just
yeah, you can read all these tangents in here.
book.
But yeah, I thought this was an absolutely brilliant match, and I don't know if it's as good as the one they had at WrestleMania 7, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty close, and I think it's a rare occasion as well where a count out DQ win actually makes sense with the story that they told as well. So yeah, I thought it was really good, possibly Warrior's best performance. I don't know. What do you think?
What the fuck was he wearing?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was kind of like prequel to Giant Gonzalez, wasn't it?
Like
Yeah, that's what I've written down here about that. Like it's
packaged meat.
like any kind of flesh colored thing. You know, like girls wear loads of flesh colored socks and stuff. Like I was like,
Yeah.
There's no as far as I'm aware, there's no macho figures in this attire, but Elite.
The
Yeah.
Have you got one?
Funko Pop.
See, I looked at that and it
Funkos don't count.
didn't look exactly. Is that one that came with a pin or
No.
something?
Oh, wait a minute. Ah,
Something
Is
like
that
the flare, I think maybe.
is that the one
Flair
that
came with a Flair came with a Rumble
Rumble
pin.
92,
you know,
yeah.
I
But
bought
that
one of those
is
machos, even though I don't collect Funkos. I did have one. It doesn't stand up. Does yours stand up? Because mine was so annoying.
I don't. I mean, it's quite heavy because of the hat and
Yeah, it
everything.
just falls over constantly. And yeah,
I
anyway,
don't have a lot of wrestling Funko Pop. Like if
no,
they
I'm
made a
not
figure
into
of it, I'd
Funkos.
get rid of it. Is the thing, but it's because there's no figure of him in the SummerSlam
Yeah.
gear.
See, It's
Um,
it's the because I did a side by side, so that was the closest one, and it's still missing a lot of like detail on the bottom half.
hmm,
Someone needs to do that
Warrior's got
outside
an
that.
elite 26.
Yeah,
good.
Is the
I
Warrior in
need
this
that one
game.
too. I need all the. Maybe we need to do a list of like all the figures from the show because I think I should get a little some 92 collection there. But yeah, someone needs to make that macho. Be quite good as a big rubber guy, I think that one.
Yeah.
But they've done
Yeah.
a few machos now, haven't they?
To be fair, I ordered a Macho King the other day, the
So,
new Crown and Scepter, or Scepter, depending on how you like to read. Um, yeah, I think with this, I've put about the non-finish again because it's the third match, where it's not really a.
I think it works in this one though. I think with the
It
story that they
does.
told, I think yeah,
It,
because they did the whole like
those,
it was a bit like an Attitude Era story, this match really, because it was all based around which one of them's really the heel, which one's going to
I'm
turn.
surprised Mae Young didn't turn up.
So,
Get tits out.
or Beaver Cleavage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite Vince Russo this match I thought, but yeah, and I've read, I don't know how true it is, but I did read somewhere that when they brought Warrior back before this, he was well, they wanted to turn him heel prior to this match, but he wasn't having it. How true that is, I don't know. I mean, I can believe it, but so yeah, so
Don't
yeah,
worry, mate. Give him, give him,
I'd
give
love
him
to know
12
where
years and he will in real life.
I'd love to know where it was going or what was the point of this world because it seemed to switch then on a dime really with Saskatoon, Saskatchewan a couple of months later, like so like there wasn't warning for that, there wasn't prep for that, like to the viewer,
yeah.
like so.
Um, yeah, there's a whole thing of whose side were they on, and still none the wiser after watching it. There wasn't a lot of room on the outside of the ring for everything that was going on.
Yeah,
It's pretty congested out there, I'd say. Bless them. Koala versus versus Undertaker was the next one, but before that we had another dark match, didn't we, Lee?
Did well remembered. Yeah, we had. It was again. It's another feud that's being ignored. So the Berserker. I got a note of that. I think I made a note of that. Yeah, so Berserker and Undertaker had met 39 times this year on the live circuit. Been on Superstars as well. Sorry, I'm gonna just choking to death. I should mute myself, shouldn't I, for
No, you're right. A
that?
bit of choking out loud. Funny, innit?
But and yeah, we had it was on Superstars, wasn't it? Prior to this, when Berserker tried to stab the Undertaker with his sword.
yes.
So again, that was another feud which could have had a logical conclusion here, but yeah, no. Instead, the Berserker faced Tatanka.
So, big one. Who won?
Tatanka won this one because he went on an unbeaten streak until he was beaten by Ludwig Borger, which was
Yes.
towards the end of the next year, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
the whole angle was he was an unbeaten streak, like
Yeah, yeah.
And he loved Adolf Hitler. Let's go full circle. He loved it. Well, I think with Tatanka because he had a match with HBK at Mania. Am I right in saying that?
WrestleMania 9, that was.
Yeah, and that was the year after. And he was still undefeated then, so he was a
Yeah.
good,
Yeah, it was
really
like
good
late
one.
'93. It was Ludwig Borger that eventually, and that
One
was
finger,
after he
wasn't
got
it?
heated.
and yeah, it was total shit at WrestleMania 9 because he thought he was going to win the Intercontinental title and he didn't. Like so.
But we Berserker also missed his flight back. Which
Those
once again,
Minnesota
funny.
boys, because folks from
He-
Minnesota.
That's right, yeah.
oh, there you go. Maybe the
I
flight was just very
I love
strict.
I love the Berserker because he threw the Hammerneggers over the top rope and just let them get counted out. That was class.
I
It was
mean,
so-
it's quite logical, that, yeah.
yeah.
Why waste energy when you can just get them
Not
counted
over.
out?
Never win a belt. Oh, that would he?
Isn't the Kamala gimmick very racist?
Do
Just
you
with
know, I
Um,
think it was a brilliant gimmick. It would be very difficult to do now,
uh,
but I think it was a great gimmick. This idea of this
of its
kind of
time.
savage warrior plucked from the jungle, and I thought, but yeah, I mean, it
Played
would
it very well as well.
it would be
Very
very problematic, I think, today without proper explanation behind it. And let's be honest, they didn't do proper explanation in 1992. Um,
It got more racist, like when Slick was managing him, trying to teach him to talk and stuff. Like,
yeah, this era was okay. I think we're kind of
you're a man, Kamala.
yeah. I think the original era when it was just a bit more sinister and it was this kind of like mysterious guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely got into awkward territory as it.
Bringing a bowl and shouting and roaring in his loincloth in the bowling alley.
Oh God, yeah, it was not good. But interestingly, Kamala had been wrestling in the UK about 8 years before this as what's his name? Mississippi Mauler, I think, wasn't it? He was on World of Sport and stuff like that. So yeah, he used to do the rounds in the UK. So he was in familiar territory for this.
One of my favorite Kamala match is a match he had in a high school gym with Brian Danielson, where he let Brian
mm,
Danielson beat the shit out of him for half an hour.
that match went
I've
on
never
for.
heard of this before.
Oh, the
Like
match on was it
2011 or
Ring of
2012.
Honor? Was it Ring of Honor?
No,
It was way before that.
yeah,
But it was like went on for about 25 minutes too long.
yeah.
Sounds like a
It's like,
fever dream. Is this actually real?
It's a real
yeah,
match. Brian Danielson versus Kamala.
Wow, I've got to look this up.
It's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. It's very good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Paul
And he just
Bearer.
I would
no, go
never have
on.
put those two in the same ring. I would. That just feels like two completely different.
I think that was the whole point of
Yeah.
it.
Wow. I'll have to look that up.
What did Paul Bearer do, Pablo? What's he up to?
Well, he told a story once that he was because he had that hearse behind him, and he was really worried that he would like trip over on the way to the ring, and the hearse would just roll over him. Because he said he never went out not stoned back in the day.
It looked like he was stoned.
Yeah,
It does make a lot of sense.
absolutely pulling on a reefer there, looking at him like, yeah, yeah.
I mean, Kamala had only been back what like a month or two at that point.
Yeah, that's why. And now as an adult, I'm like, would they not have heated him up a bit more for this and done the Berserker one and done this at Survivor Series? But yeah,
Well, he did do this at Survivor Series, didn't they? This was kind of the
Was it
setup
coffin
for that,
match?
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of the rehearsal there that you mentioned there, Pablo, I think um, this was kind of the very first Undertaker grand stadium entrance. And funnily enough, his first special entrance had also been in the UK. So at the Albert Hall, he'd had the guy dressed as the Phantom of the Opera playing him in. So that was kind of his first special entrance. But this was really the first time that had been done. Obviously, now you associate Undertaker with these big stadium entrances, but this was really the birth of that and set the template. But I think as well, I talked before about Shawn Michaels. I think this was the time when you could see he would go in upper level. I think this was kind of the birth of the Undertaker, even though he'd been a champion already. I don't think he'd really been presented as a proper main event until here. I think this was the start of it.
And just perfect card placement as well, having them come out in the dark,
In the dark,
which
yeah.
is what they should have done for
Well,
Papa
it's his
Shango.
first
Yeah,
outing as a baby face as well. Like, because in my mind, at the time, he was like the super top of card because you can't damage him. Final boss. Like in my mind, because and then like Survivor Series 91 and taking the title and all that, it's like you can't hurt him. So how does this work? So yeah, but I know what you mean by like the Undertaker we became to know like not long afterwards. And it's a phenomenal athlete. I'm actually watching that match as we speak. And just the stuff he's doing, like there for the size that he is.
Oh, the top rope, yeah, the old school Most of them. They should have put all three of the bad guys in the coffin because it
I
wouldn't
did. I
be
did see a sign saying that, like, we put Kimchi, Harvey, and Kamala in together.
because it wouldn't be the first hearse to get a hat trick at Wembley.
Oh,
Any football related fans out
I
there?
got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that game. That is a
Hey,
shame.
but I think it's all over. It's not another match. Um, British Bulldog did a promo and he was cracked
Who?
out, wasn't he?
Yeah, I've noticed when I look back at these old British Bulldog promos, he has this habit of repeating back the question. I don't know if it's a stalling tactic, but if you say to the Bulldog, well, you must be feeling a lot of pressure about the match tonight. Well, tonight there's going to be a lot of pressure on this match, and I'm feeling that pressure. And it
That's
just
how I used to answer exam questions in school.
he
Oh
just
yeah, always refer back to the question. So you
yeah, he
talk about
straight away
the
refers
answer.
back to the question. So I don't know if it's just like, but seems to do it in all of his promos or a lot of them. So I don't know if it was a conscious stalling method because he wasn't very confident. But
His
Actually,
hair was fucked, wasn't it? Like you
just at the
didn't.
bit where he says I'm fuck Brett, like yeah.
Yeah, his yeah, his hair was just like a 12-year-old girl in a Spanish strip getting
So
braided.
I went to see Bret Hart on the Inside the Ropes tour in Cork in 2019, and he told the story that poor old Davey, I imagine it's probably in Rampage Book, available on Instagram. And he
What
spent
code do you use to get 10% off that?
3 POA,
don't
written by Lee Herbert, also known as Rampage Book, and it's got a really nice cover as well. The Apparently he spent the summer smoking crack with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Like, I can think of better ways to spend your summer. No offense to them. No offense to either of them.
I can think of worse ways to spend your summer, mate.
And apparently, as well, he was this what Brett said, I suppose, that kind of adds to the stories we hear online as well, is that like Davey was actually broke because he spent like 250 grand on crack.
Oh, that's must be some good crack though. What
Yeah,
lovely crack.
yeah. Like he spent all his checks.
I tell you, it makes complete sense now as to why he thinks that everywhere is his hometown. Because where you put him in England is here, my hometown. And it's like, is it? Because you're about 400 miles away from here, there, David. And his wife's a bag of charisma, isn't she?
I was gonna say, how do you feel about that interview being so bad? Because do you think it makes it more real
Yes, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
instead of a cutting a promo? You know what I mean? But like, she could have been a bit more emotional, I guess.
And
Just
yeah, there's,
anything would have been nice.
there's an appalling figure on it
Just
as well.
did no one sort of go, Diane, what you wearing there, love?
And
What?
that
You're like a
and her
shit tree ornament. What are you doing?
they're cutting having a corner view of her pretending to be worried, like when
Yeah.
they either of these are going to do any dangerous
Um,
bumps. And
Diana,
I'm not
no,
fucking worried about either of them.
oh no, still
What
Do you think
Diana.
they felt
Yeah.
they might have felt bad about the year before where the Alfred Hayes cut off Stu Hart during his answer to the
Oh, he
first
was
question that he
chatting
gets? So
shit
they
there,
give
wasn't
Diana about 4 minutes, and she goes on far too long to the point where Mooney has to cut her off
Anyway,
because it
cuts
just
her off.
wasn't going anywhere.
Because the theme started playing, didn't they? And they oh sorry,
Well,
Piper come out, didn't he?
of course, that was a surprise as well. That wasn't advertised, I don't think.
Just pretending to play the bagpipes.
Yeah, well, wasn't that to do with Piper? It was something to do with his actor's visa or act. There was some sort of something to do with his acting roles, and he needed to appear on something. I'm sure there's a story in there. Basically, he was just shoehorned in so that they could sign a piece of paper to say, "Oh yeah, he's appeared on TV in America and
That's
the UK."
amazing.
and blah, blah,
He
blah.
was one of the few that were able to get into the Screen Actors Guild because of They Live as well. So probably or possibly, yeah, yeah.
That Screen Actors Guild might be what I'm thinking of, but this was definitely from what I've heard some kind of ticking exercise, easy for me to say, for his own kind of personal. So it was a bit of a favour, this his fake bagpipe playing. I'd have just had him on the show,
I
Piper.
wonder
Commentary, yeah.
was he penned into the show if Davey was too fucked up? Like, because there's no doubt Vince would have known the condition of his performers going into things.
Well,
Yeah,
Brett only won the title off him at Mania that year, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like to put him on the show, present him as British, whatever. In case your man didn't turn up, which from what Brett says, there was every chance.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm fucked.
Like, and actually, John Collins put up on Legion Hasbro yesterday as well. Like, what would have happened if he didn't show up? Like, what would they have done? What would have happened? I think logically and no fun was they would have put Warrior and Savage back on the thing and fed someone to Brett.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Berserker. Not enough people waiting.
or somebody like
Because without that British link, and if they hadn't gone with Piper, yeah, you're probably right. They probably would have just bumped it down because there was then no reason for Brett to go on last.
because you don't have anyone British with the star power. Like Big Daddy was finished, Giant Haystacks was finished. Like
no, there was
they
no
couldn't
one.
have worked a match.
They're not finished, they're English.
There was
Or
no
well,
one.
no, but you imagine Brett. Speaking of Finnish, right? I have a Finnish neighbor who I didn't know was Finnish until she told me she was going to Finland and I fed her cats for 2 weeks. And I realized halfway through, and I went, Nina, are you Finnish? Because she sounds Finnish and looks Finnish. It just never occurred to me.
Well,
And
yes,
I was like, she said she was going to Finland. I was like, what a strange place to go on your holidays.
How
But
do you
that's
look
fun.
Finnish? How do you look Finnish?
Looking very Scandinavian. Look like
Like
Nate.
a flat top and a black
Yogurt.
singlet with a Finnish flag on it.
Drinking
Yeah.
a yogurt. Yeah.
Like what you'd imagine. She looks like Ludwig Borga.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Are you finished?" And she was like, "What? Yeah, why?" All right.
Lennox Lewis comes through with Bulldog.
Mm.
For some reason they sort of
Canadian Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Heenan was great all the way throughout the match. The match was very long. It was very well put together.
Yeah.
It felt
Do
very
you know
long.
what I liked? Do you know what I liked about Bulldog's entrance? That he does the whole that because I think he's genuinely hoping that this
Yeah.
goes
God, he's got left at that stage.
The
Man who's never engaged with religion. Well, if I'm in a situation like that, I might fucking like.
lovely croak before I know, imagine
Yeah.
in his hometown.
Oh.
I just feel a bit bad because obviously you can see in Bret Hart's eyes and into the ring. He's just like, for fuck's sake. It's like walking into a shift and no one else has turned up. That sort of energy. Obviously, Bulldog wins by roll up after several clips back to Diane Hart Smith just on
Right.
ringside.
That don't hold up well.
Attire wise, obviously, we had figures of these Crappers and Gimmicks released Diana Hart Smith and Bulldog in a two
I did get that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to, I think, didn't you?
I think WrestleFeds are releasing it again.
Who? Oh, the Bulldog.
Yeah,
Not the Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need a second, Diana. No offense to her.
Hey, you sound like the royal family, mate.
Oh.
Poor Megan. Right, Victor, I think, for it. It was a good moment. It was a bit of an awkward thing
100%.
after he won, and it was just there's no music. Similar to when Lesnar beat Taker.
Like
Yeah.
the testament to the popularity of wrestling and the British Bulldog at the time was like we're talking about the height of the troubles in this country, yet he was still mega popular. Like mega
It was his hometown, mate.
Ireland. Like,
His
no, but
hometown.
that WCW show that I went to sold off the back of Davey being there like 9 months after this. So
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because there's it would have been the April Rampage tour in '91.
What's that tour? What tour was that?
So the Rampage tour,
Rampage.
the same name as
Same as the book.
But on that tour, the first Davey only headlined 2 shows, I think it was in the end. But the first time he headlined a show on a European tour, it wasn't in the UK, it was actually in the Republic of Ireland, which I thought, is this like a bit of a Vince McMahon rib? But then I saw an interview with Sheamus, and he was saying that even though, as you say, there are lots of other things going on in the world and different rivalries, etc., actually the British Bulldog was
yes,
big in Ireland still. Like so that he was there Hulk Hogan still, which I thought was
massive. And actually, Jamie made me think of that because all the L ones loved Princess Diana as well. Like and followed the drama of and there was a Sky dramatization of Diana and Charles when we were small. I remember my mom watching it. I was just waiting for V to come on.
I thought my brother, because my brother used to deliver papers, so obviously he got the news before everyone else did, because he used to wake up and before the internet and stuff. And he came home and was like, "Oh, Princess Diana's died." I thought it was just a joke because she had the word "die" in her name, but turns out it wasn't. Unless it's a very long-term joke.
Yeah. No, I was my last day of primary school, or no, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What a day! I remember. I also remember 9/11.
Well,
Yeah.
my was in transition. I was 16. I was in transition year, and my mate texted me with phones like, "Oh, a plane hit the World Trade Center." And I was like, I'm in transition year, so it doesn't really matter if I stay here. So I'm gonna go and see." And I watched the towers fall in the window of an electronics shop.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because they used to have that. Remember, they have all tellies that they're selling, like
Yeah.
the telly would be on.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen anymore.
They really went on quite a rampage, didn't they? Which you got a book
Here's a
called that,
book.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This,
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. That's good.
Where's my name in the book?
Your name is in there, actually.
And are you credited as Pablo or Paul? Sorry if I'm breaking the fourth wall here.
I
Uh,
don't know.
credited shoot name, not work name. Yeah.
Oh, you would
Oh,
have to because for
Name's
a,
there's
a,
no
s-
there's no royalties. That's not
a second Pablo has hit the tower.
And I will be buying a signed book. I demand
Oh, it's a signed
nice
option, is it?
a nice inscription.
there is
is
no
there,
sign
is there
It's
a
not.
sign
It's not.
up?
Not a signed
There is
Oh.
no
option.
sign option.
We piss on it for him. We pay you extra.
Just rub it on your balls.
Yeah, that's good enough,
I
isn't it?
don't know why I found that so funny.
How have we gone from Brett and Davey
We've,
into the World
we've
Trade
asked someone
Center
to come
in
on
the
to
series?
promote their book and then asked them to piss on his book.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting worse, to be honest, but
No,
I
it's
feel like it
fine.
got off quite lightly there, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer the
Oh,
question, Lee.
um, yeah, that's I think 9/11 is normally a good place to end anything. Any other
Bretton,
yeah,
Bretton Bulldog just voted by WWE as the greatest SummerSlam match
yeah.
of all time.
I don't agree with that.
I think it's probably fair. I think Brett and Perfect or Daniel Bryan and John Cena are
No,
up there. But yeah,
HBK Triple H Mode 2, mate.
oh, get over yourself.
I think
That's good.
at this point in time, I think this was, I know a lot of people like Savage and Steamboat, but I think in 1992, I think this was officially the best WWF match there had been up to this point,
Yeah.
I would say.
And I
And
think SummerSlam was legit the highest attended
the legit one,
show.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Legit one.
Oh yeah, because the Silver Dome was
Um,
bombed to 70
but this
something.
this match was so good. I don't think without this match, Bret Hart would have been winning the title for a couple more years. I think this was the match
Agree, yeah.
that I think everyone saw this, and even though
Money
he
in.
lost, I
Yeah.
think he proved that he could do what Warrior and Sid hadn't been able to do since Hogan, and actually,
I think
um,
the steroids helped him along, as in these boys
yeah,
were
oh,
along
definitely,
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
they needed someone that wasn't juiced up at this point. But I think where others had failed, because everyone thought Warrior was going to be the next one, and then Sid Justice was touted as going to be the new Hulk Hogan.
Oh, sure, it was presented that way for months.
Yeah, so I think this was the one. I think Brett really, I think, accelerated by a couple of years his move to the top.
What, a couple of months later? That and
Yeah,
with no
Saskatoon. Yeah,
builds or like no real interactions with Flair.
yeah, it's like 2 months later, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. Surprise win, but I
I
think
think it's probably to move it off because your Warriors, your steroid trials, your thing. We kind of need to make a move now. Like,
yeah, there was a lot going on in this era, but
You know,
yeah,
And
steroids.
off the back of this as well, uh, the Slam Jam single, because Simon Cowell,
Oh, yeah.
because he made his reputation from signing TV personalities to release singles like Robson and Jerome, Zig and Zag, etc. And he said, "Look, you've got to release a wrestling single to." I think Arista was the record company, or it was Arista, wasn't it? And they were like, "No," and it's like they basically said, "Well, on your head be it." Um,
sounds a lot like chapter 17 of this book what you're talking about right now.
Okay, sorry, yeah, spoilers.
Out of interest, do you have a bit in there that says about the song for the Nasty Boys where it says you're going to have nasty stuff all down your throat
all through '93.
all through 93? Not when 94 comes, you're fine.
Yeah, I've brushed over that
Yeah, as they did.
for the best.
And cover that bit in piss.
and how nice were you to the wrestlers? Like, does Hawk and Berserker get good reports or?
Um,
We find out maybe you buy
very,
it.
very nice. To be honest, the idea of this was to be. I know we've kind of like yeah had a laugh and joke about certain things, but I wanted this book to be very much a celebration because I think enough people shit on wrestling, to be honest, and I don't really want to give people more ammunition to do so. So this is, I mean, there are a few digs in here. I mean, I do make fun of a few people, but on the whole,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
very positive. I kind of keep away from, I mean, you can't keep away from the steroid scandal entirely because
It's
that's
not
a
possible
big
in
part
that
of the
era.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I wanted this really to be a celebration and kind of remind people why they fell in love with wrestling in
Well,
the first place.
watching it in one corner of the room and talking to you about it has made me remember all the nice childhood things. Like it's we're great and we're funny guys to say, oh, Bulldog was fucked up on crack all weekend, blah 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 blah. Whereas that actually affected the family, and whereas what we're remembering here is how much fun we had
Yeah,
watching it and looking at these larger than life people. Like so,
yeah, absolutely.
Crack though,
And,
lovely.
yeah,
Very Moorish.
Moorish, yeah.
and I think anyone who's listening to this or is about to watch it that wasn't around at the time, I think it's important as well to just understand how big it was here because I mean you get a feel of it in the show, but the week of this show, like a national newspaper, the Daily Mirror, they dubbed it Grand Slam Week, and every single day they would dedicate 2 pages just to WWF wrestling. Like
Crazy.
I know now you've got the Netflix deals, and I think they've announced another one today, haven't they, with Disney or something else? And you've got all these billions of pounds thrown around. But a national newspaper in Great Britain was promoting the World Wrestling Federation every single day. Like
What's
this is
happening these days is
one,
just that there's such demand for content, so wrestling is going
yeah,
to ride that wave. Like
yeah.
hence we have a second company now, etc. But like, um, yeah, like that's so crazy above and beyond, like and into the mainstream. Like, it's a testament to how big it was.
Well, on if it's Saturday morning TV, I mean, we had Hacksaw was on Going Live. Randy Savage appeared on there. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was also on the Ozone. He was on Games Master. Roddy Piper was on Jim Will Bloody Fix It, which
Oh,
you can't
no,
find
no,
online anymore for obvious reasons.
no.
But Roddy Piper is on Jim Will Fix It on primetime TV. Like this
Yeah.
is bonkers. And so I think if anyone kind of is um, too young to remember this or has just forgotten, I think yeah, I mean, it's really important just to remember like how crazy this was because a lot of people still couldn't even watch the World Wrestling Federation in
Well,
1992,
it only had
and yet they're
about
selling out
20%.
Wembley.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it was an amazing show, best pay-per-view of all time.
And you think
Allegedly.
yeah. I see what thought was lovely in the crowd shots and all the shots they did at the start was parents with children.
Yeah,
So there might be some of those children
Well,
listening.
you think they're parents, mate? Some of them might have been Savile. Who's going to see his mate friend, his friend
Yeah,
Roddy?
well,
You can't
that,
assume they're
that
parents, mate.
sort of happened more in my country than yours, to be fair. So,
Hey, only in the churches, mate.
yeah,
Um, but there's always
but that's lovely. Those are such lovely memories for people.
in the background of every shot. There's always someone walking up the stairs, just behind the ring. There's always someone going somewhere.
It's 80,000 people. I mean, so yeah, yeah. I found that at AEW, like I was never like even when I was going for a piss during matches, like there's still people
Oh,
around.
so we had a private box.
Oh yeah, no, it was the year before. I went with
Uh,
Pablo. I touched him.
yeah, full nails versus Boss Man. Which
Yeah, he
that's
just
that.
whispered in my ear. I did do several racist things that day, though.
Ah, it's half of the course, isn't it?
Uh,
When in Rome, mate. Dressed up like Kamala.
no, a good Asian descent friend of mine hugged me from behind, and I was like, "Lad, the police are so fucking racist. Stop."
Well, on that note, it brings us to a close for the pay-per-view. It's been a pleasure. Sort of, we should have our own dark matches, really. I sort of feel a bit. Maybe we'll get someone else on at the end and edit it in at the start with a little dark match. Anyone else selling any other books?
Rampage Book is on Instagram, and you can go to the Shopify link through there.
There's not an actual link apparently.
Lee has been an absolute pleasure putting up with us for this long. Pablo is good at putting up with us.
Hey, Pablo's a carer, mate. Pablo's a carer. He's used to people like us.
Yeah, we are getting fucking cancelled.
The pleasure is all mine. Trust me. No, I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. It's a pleasure. Long time coming. As soon as you found out about your book, we thought get Lee on at some point.
When the book is fucking finished.
Yeah.
Which it is. Rampage Book.
It exists. It's finished. It's done.
It exists. It's right there.
And it's released on the anniversary of the show, 29th of August, or the anniversary of when it actually happened.
Well, yeah, and you can't spell released without Lee.
You can. You can, you illiterate fuck. But
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. Release. Well, Pablo, pleasure as always. We won't leave it to. Let's see you're starting another show soon.
I'm considering it. I don't know. Up in the air with it at the moment.
We do give us a shout. Always happy to promote you and whatever.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
If you got a book, mate, I'll have you on.
I've got several books.
I must say, and like I get accused an awful lot of blowing smoke up guests' arses, but like writing a book is so out of the realms of my comprehension that I have such respect for you.
Because you can't read, mate.
Says released Lee there over there. Yeah, okay.
Don't interrupt him. Let him keep going with this. No,
just hats off to you. Do you feel a sense of completeness now you've done it, or do you want to do something else, or what's next?
To be honest, the problem is because it's I think this is about 115,000 words in total. So you're absolutely never happy. You've just got to reach a point where you just say, I've got to stop going over and over this because it's death by 1,000 improvements. So you're just looking for some kind of like closure, really. But yeah, I am working on a follow-up. There is a clue actually at the end of chapter 19 as to what that might be, but you'll have to read to find out. But
I hope it's Piper and Savile.
No,
called They Don't Live.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen that because, like I say, because it's so hard to track down.
I've got a magazine, a UK magazine that reported on it, and there were some photographs from it. And one of them's Piper doing a headlock on Savile, and he could easily.
Yeah, I've seen a picture or two.
Back in the time machine.
I saw something the other day about like time machine stuff and being like some bloke who wanted to kill baby Hitler, and then there was like, "You killed a baby, mate. What are you doing?"
Was it Jerry Sags by any chance?
No, yeah, it was a nasty boy, all right.
Yeah, that's
nasty with one S instead of two S's.
Yeah.
Any SS fans out there? But Lee, obviously, we look forward to having you promote your next book, whatever that may be.
I've got to say Lee's Instagram as well. It's been great at collating all of the newspaper articles, all the adverts, etc. as well. It's such a hub for all of that UK-based promotional stuff. Yeah,
so much fun.
Such a good job of it.
What's your Instagram there, Lee? Get it out there.
Thanks very much. At the minute, it's just let me hang on. Is it just WWF Rampage Book? I think. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, simple as that. Search that.
So yeah, WWF Rampage Book, all one word on Instagram.
American listeners, if you got missed out on any of the references and all, sorry, whatever.
I'm not sorry. Just learn about culture.
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
Well, it's all explained in here. They can just buy
the book
and learn all about
chapter 26. Just telling you what nonsense.
They're missing out on all the.
Oh, I can finish on a grim note. Rampage Jackson. Apparently nobody visited him at some event signing, and it just made me really fucking sad.
Oh, that's the quintessential thing to finish on.
Yeah, well, I think I might be doing for the Love of Wrestling next year, so I've got serious concerns that might be me in February. So yeah, so
I'll be there, mate.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there on Saturday.
Pablo, will you be there?
I might be.
Maybe there. There you go. We can have a reunion. We can watch it all together.
Yeah.
So you can find some Savile and Piper tapes.
Say, Lee, how have we ruined your life? Or post podcast airing completely avoid you for forever?
What's this?
Been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Loved every minute.
Absolute pleasure. Loved every minute. Put that as a quote for our book. Dan, pleasure as always. I'll see you next week.
Can't wait.
Pablo, I'll probably see you in a few months. And Leo, I'll see you after your next book, mate.
Oh, but before I want to come on and talk about toys at some point. Now I've got my first podcast out of my system now. Calm down a bit.
You got it under your belt.
Yeah.
It's nice she's not wearing trousers either.
Yeah. And the kind of
No one
really
can see you.
casual,
They can say anything. I
the
can't believe
really, really, really casual wank you had halfway through as well. Like, I mean,
that's swastika it was giving me. All right, pleasure as always, chats. We'll see you later. Bye, Rampage Book.